This is Scott Kaplan and Crew Tonight. The very best from today's Scott Kaplan and Crew Show on the mightier 1090 AM ESPN Radio. SoCal Sports Talk. Here's Scott Kaplan, Alex Padilla, and John Browner.
Yo, what is going on, everybody? It is Wednesday afternoon. It is March 22nd. This is Kaplan and Crew with Grande and the Brown Man. And we're coming to you from the 7 Mile Casino Studios. 7milecasino.com is the website for everybody that's listening on radio, everybody that's watching on television, all of our YouTube chatlins that are just getting into the YouTube live chat right now, audio podcast listeners. Guys, I just want to remind you that on Thursday, May 4th, Kaplan and Crew dinner party and comedy show at 7 Mile Casino featuring the stylings of one big bad John Browner and the lawman himself, Jason Lawhead. So it's a dinner and a comedy show on Thursday, May 4th at 7 Mile Casino. Make your plans now. Mark your calendar, because I'm telling you guys, there's only like a sellout is going to be like 60. We may be able to squeeze in a few more, maybe get up to 70, but it's going to be a really small, intimate gathering. It's going to be a beautiful dinner at Sammy's Restaurant and Bar, and then the comedy show featuring Browner and Lawhead, and then we'll all go out and we'll hit the tables, and it's a Thursday night, and the next day is Cinco de Mayo, and the next day is the Padres and the Dodgers at Petco Park. So we have picked the absolute perfect night for our dinner and comedy show. More details coming, pricing coming. Not going to be expensive. It's going to be very affordable, but we're all going to have a really great time. So make your plans right now, May 4th at 7 Mile Casino. All right, Grande Brown Man. Fellas, we're just getting going here. You know, we've had this ongoing debate for about the last couple of weeks. Alex, you and I have both been very pro World Baseball Classic.
You need to quit attaching yourself like you were in it from the get-go, sir.
No, listen, I'm not saying that I'm like all in on it, like where every night I'm watching.
Okay.
It took me a couple of days to understand, like, and I said it this way: when it's baseball season, I expect there to be a baseball game on every night, and I have it on my television every night, and it's kind of on in the background. There are times I'll sit down and I'll watch, and there are other times where it's just on all the time. It took me a little bit here in the World Baseball Classic to remember that these games were being played. I also took me time to find where Fox Sports 1 was. Some people had to use Hubo, Bulo. What's the name of this TV thing? This streaming
Hulu?
service? Not Hulu. There's another one. Not Roku.
Roku?
No,
YouTube
Robu,
TV?
Bublo. I don't
Fubo.
freaking know. Fubo. Yeah. So some people had to use that. All I'm saying is that it wasn't front and center for me at the beginning, but here was the debate we'd been having. Browner says, nobody's watching, nobody cares. I was saying, I think you're wrong. I think people are watching and people do care. I was saying, look at these ballparks. They're all filled up. He says, yeah, but it's only one game. All I'm saying is this. I believe this World Baseball Classic, and then finished last night on the absolute most climactic thing, most dramatic thing that could possibly happen. It all happened in this World Baseball Classic. And I think that what happened in this tournament will now make this event grow bigger, more exponentially, and quicker than ever before. And last night, the dream happened. You're going to get Japan versus the U.S., and everybody was hoping to see Ohtani versus Trout. And who knew that it could, dude, honestly, a Disney movie. This is what it is. We get to the bottom of the ninth with the pitcher from the Angels versus the hitter from the Angels, and one is representing Japan, the other is representing the United States, and we see the battle of two teammates. The two best baseball players on the planet going head to head. And by the way, these two players play for the same Major League Baseball team, and they're one of the worst baseball teams there is. So you got the two best players on one of the worst teams going toe-to-toe. Who could have imagined that it would have happened? Seeing Ohtani pitch against Trout, that's one thing. Seeing Ohtani pitch against Trout with 2 outs in the bottom of the ninth, that's a whole other part of the drama. So, look, Browner, I don't know if you had a change of heart. I don't know if you watched it last night. I don't know if you found it exciting. Oh, really? Give him us the face already. But you didn't watch it. It's beneath you. Is that the deal?
Not beneath me, just not interested. Like I get it. The players are excited about it. They should be. They're participating on it. They're being away from their families. They're being away from their teammates to participate in this. The least they could do is show some passion and emotion representing their country. Yeah, they should care about it. I don't. It's not like it's not a thing for me. It's not a thing for me at all. I don't see the point of it at all. Sorry.
It's all right. You don't have to be. You don't have to sorry. You don't have to be sorry. I mean,
I
listen.
mean, that's like a sorry, not sorry.
Yeah. I listen to me. Last night I was driving home, and all I wanted to do was watch or listen. So I had it on Sirius satellite radio, and they had the Fox Sports 1 telecast on radio, if you will. And I'm like driving on the edge of my seat. Ohtani versus Trout. Ohtani throwing 100-mile-an-hour fastballs down the pipes that Trout can't catch up to. And then on a 3-2 count, you get to 3-2 with 2 down in the bottom of the ninth. You got the best pitcher and the best hitter who are teammates in Major League Baseball. One's rep in Japan, one's rep in the U.S. I was rooting for Trout because I wanted the U.S. to win, but I wasn't like angry when Ohtani struck him out and the U.S. lost. It was so much fun to listen to. And then when I got home, I turned it on, I rewound it, and I watched the entire at bat. I thought it was phenomenal drama. Listen, I'm not here to tell you what to watch. I'm not here to tell you how to feel. You do you, boo. But I thought most of us thought this was unbelievably exciting baseball. What'd you think, Alex?
Yeah, I think it was one of those moments where I text you guys, you guys got to tune into this at least to this half inning. You got to tune into this. And it lived up to all of it. When it got to 3-2, I was like, he better not walk him. That would be the most anticlimactic ending to that at bat ever. It's got to be a home run. It got to be an out, something. And it was great. And I think that for all of the baseball is regional, nobody cares about baseball outside of the home market that you're in, which is all true. This was like baseball's platform to show what it could be and show what it is in October, to be honest. Now that we just experienced in October, like we just did, you kind of get it. October baseball and what was last night, it was very similar. And I thought it was great that this was a national thing, which baseball never gets. Sunday night baseball, it's not Sunday night football. There is no platform like Monday Night Football for baseball, and last night was it. This tournament was it. It was a national draw because your favorite player on your favorite team was likely playing at some point for this tournament. I thought it was great. I loved it, and I think that because of the success with attendance, with ratings, and how much players loved it, it's only going to get bigger.
Yeah,
In 4 years.
I got to tell you guys, I thought it was great. And as much as people were talking going into that game yesterday, how cool would it be to see Ohtani pitch to Trout? Never in our wildest dreams could we have thought that Ohtani would pitch to Trout in the bottom of the ninth with 2 outs, with a chance for Trout to do something magical. But on the other hand, a chance for Ohtani to do something magical for his country. Unlike the World Cup, I felt like I was watching. Here's my comp to the World Baseball Classic. Everybody wants to compare it to the World Cup, but my comp is this. You ready? The Little League World Series. I know it sounds a little crazy because we don't get into the Little League World Series the way we probably got into the World Baseball Classic. But when you're watching the Little League World Series, if you have a team from your home market, you get into it. We've done it a few times here in San Diego. But when you've got the team from Mexico versus the team from the U.S. or the team from Japan or versus the kids from the U.S., like you're seeing the best kids who've made it all the way through. And some of those guys become Major League Baseball players. What we were seeing last night were those same kids, only they were at the peak of their career. They're 26, 27, 30, whatever age they were. To me, it was like the grown-up version of the Little League World Series. And I freaking thought it was awesome last night. And Brown, I'm kind of surprised. I mean, again, you do whatever you want to do. But I mean, that drama of Ohtani versus Trout in the bottom of the ninth with the entire thing, with the entire thing on the line, that doesn't move the needle for you, huh?
No, No, listen, you guys know how I feel about Mike Trout. And y'all know how I feel about Ohtani. And it just so happens the two of them were, going up against each other. What does that do for me? Nothing.
I wonder how
Zero.
much
Nothing.
more money Otani made in this tournament.
I know, right?
Honestly,
I mean, not even baseball money, like off the field,
well,
international superstar money.
that too. But I was talking about baseball money.
Oh, really?
So I know that you can laugh at what I'm about to say, but I genuinely think that this tournament is going to highlight certain players. Otani being one of them, Randy Arozarena from Mexico being another, Trey Turner
Agree.
for the U.S. being
Agree.
another.
Yep.
Like in the World Cup, we just saw it.
Mm-hmm.
There are players that are unknowns going into a tournament that explode worldwide because they have an incredible tournament. And a few years ago, it was James Rodriguez for Colombia, has this incredible tournament, gets bought by Real Madrid, the biggest club in the world, doesn't really pan out. Just happened again for Argentina. Another dude just went to Chelsea for a ton of money because he's young and no one knew about him. And no. But I think that this tournament, as it progresses forward, is going to have that effect in baseball, where a player becomes a star in this tournament and you start paying attention to him more. Now, Trey Turner, Ohtani already stars. Randy Arozarena, not so much in Tampa Bay, even though he had a great World Series in 2020.
Mm-hmm.
He's on a 1-year contract. This guy's playoff numbers are incredible. He is a big time player in big moments. And I think if the Rays stink, he's going to get traded to a contender and be a star somewhere else. Like that's
Here's the,
kind of, I think that this tournament will propel. How many Japanese pitchers pitch this tournament that you're like, I'd like to see that guy on the Padres?
Mm-hmm.
Because there was a few of them. There was a few of them.
here's the problem with that. There are 162 games in baseball. And if any of these guys who participate in the World Baseball Classic that are either American or already playing in baseball, we didn't know them. When the season starts back and we're 50, 60 games in, you're not going to know who they are. Like that's the reason why this doesn't move me. These guys are already playing and I don't know who they are. So them participating in this tournament, whether we all knew who Ohtani was, we all knew who Mike Trout was. The bigger names we already know. The lower name guys on the roster who we didn't know, I don't think this is going to impact or change anything that happens during baseball. I don't because once the season starts, if they don't have impact seasons, if they don't show some type of resolve or some type of carryover is the word I'm looking for into this after having a good World Baseball Classic and carry over into the Major League Baseball season, then you're just good in this tournament.
I
Yeah.
think you're
You see,
kind
to
of
me,
proving my point.
Which
You
is
don't know these guys, but now you do.
right, like a Rosarena, just to use him
Right.
as an example, right? Like I have grown to really, well, first, know who he is, and secondly, love the way he plays. So when I see that guy make a catch over a wall and then stand there, like that's right, I just made that catch. I love the swag. Now I know who a Rosarena is. I know where he plays. And you're right, Browner. I'm not going to be following the Tampa Bay Rays every night just because I'm a Rosarena fan. But when I'm watching SportsCenter and I'm watching the highlights, when his name is mentioned, I'm going to know who that guy is. And I know it because of the World Baseball Classic. Let me ask you this. If you Darvish was pitching the bottom of the ninth last night for Japan and Manny Machado were up with 2 outs for the Dominican Republic, if I told you that you Darvish was pitching against Manny, would that have moved your needle?
no. Listen, man, I like the Padres. I'm watching baseball for the Padres. I'm not this. The tournament didn't do anything for me. It could have been anybody at the plate versus anybody pitching. It wouldn't have done anything for me. It just wouldn't have. I don't find that level of baseball to be entertaining because at the end of it, as a fan of the Padres, what does that get me? Nothing.
You want to piss Browner off completely now
All right.
and bring it back to the Padres since you brought up you Darvish right now.
Okay.
So this is from Kevin AC yesterday at 8 p.m. posted on the Union Tribune.
Mm-hmm.
Because you Darvish participated in the World Baseball Classic,
Mm-hmm.
and because he was used out of the bullpen on last Thursday and yesterday,
Mm-hmm.
you Darvish is not going to be the Padres opening day starter because the Padres say he is not built up to go longer than 4 innings right now. So it has a negative effect on the Padres. Blake Snell is likely to be the opening day starter for the Padres now.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Well, Browner, any because by the way, I just want to say one thing to you, Brown. I don't fault you in any way. I'm not going to try and persuade you in any way that the World Baseball Classic was awesome. You don't like it? That's fine. I bet you there's a lot of people who feel the same way you feel. And
Mets
I
fans.
understand your whole point about just being a Padre fan. Because, like, for example, when it comes to basketball, I follow the Lakers. I don't really care that much about the NBA as a whole. You know, like,
Correct.
like tonight, the Lakers play the Suns. The Suns are coming in. They don't have Kevin Durant. They don't have DeAndre Ayton. All I care about is will the Lakers win the game so that they can get to the postseason? You know,
Like last night, huge game. Clippers Thunder,
right,
huge game.
hmm
Couldn't care less.
right. Like, and Paul George getting hurt last night, which we'll get to at some point. Like that doesn't really do much for me. I'm a Laker follower. I'm not an NBA
And
hardcore
as a
fan.
Laker fan, that game had a lot of implications, and I still didn't care to watch.
Yeah. Yeah. So, Brown, I get what you're saying. You're a Padre follower. That's
Right.
your baseball is Padres baseball. But
Now,
I do
if the
think,
NBA, like I watch FIBA basketball, which would probably be the equivalent to this, and no one watches that. No one cares about that. I love it.
yeah.
And I guess that would be the equivalent of it. Like I watched last night's game over whatever this was. I didn't watch a second of this. I watched all of it until Paul George got hurt.
I think
So,
the only
no,
thing that I push back with Browner,
yeah.
is the argument that it doesn't mean anything because it's new. But it's like, yeah, I mean, the World Cup didn't mean anything in the first iterations of it. You know what I'm saying? Like the Olympics didn't mean much when it was just a bunch of Greeks running around naked. So it's just like, of course, it just started, but you could see it build momentum
Yep. That's right.
as the tournament continues. This is the fifth iteration. Is the sixth one going to be bigger than the fifth one? I really think so. I showed numbers yesterday about how much bigger this
Yeah.
one grew over the last one.
Mm-hmm.
if this
It's
was a
grown exponentially.
this will always be my point of it. If this was attached to the Olympics or in some form of off-season tournament, I would feel a little different about it. If this was held after this season, I would feel different
Yeah,
about it.
I don't like the
This is
timing of it,
this is
especially if it's
all
going to interfere with
Thi-
pitchers.
Right. This is already affecting the Padres season. If this causes you Darvish to have some type of long-term effect because he's only ready to go 4 innings. If guys get hurt, if pitchers because of wear and tear and the stress of this tournament start hurting themselves during regular season, owners will go, yeah, I don't want my pitchers doing that. The hitter's fine, knock yourself out. I don't want my star pitchers doing that.
Yeah. But
That's
you
been
say
the
that.
conversation coming out of it, though. That's what Rob Manfred said yesterday. He wants more star pitchers to be part of it. It's like, well, you're going to have to work on the timing there, dude.
Yeah, I know. But I do think this,
Can't
I
be a
keep
spring
hearing,
training thing.
I keep hearing this phrase, Japan won the World Baseball Classic, but baseball, the sport of baseball, and I think Major League Baseball, that was the big winner. To have a tournament of this caliber before the start of the season, I think has made people hunger that much more for baseball. And to get to a point last night where you've got, two of the biggest names in all of baseball, Major League Baseball, facing off against each other who are teammates in such a dramatic moment. I mean, I think the climax actually happened at the end. If a Super Bowl ends on the last play, you got the whole season to the last play. The World Baseball Classic, which I think in the country of Mexico, for example, I think it's blown up. I think people, because of the Mexican team's performance, I think it's going to blow up. I think the U.S. team is going to think about this for the next time. Like, hey, we were this close to defending our championship. We lost it. I think the Japanese team is going to say we've proven that we're just as good in Japan, if not better. I really think that internationally speaking, the sport, the game of baseball was really the big winner. All right, we'll talk
Yeah,
more
I don't think
about
there's
it.
a right answer to fix it, right? If you put it in November, you're going to have guys that haven't played for a month that are like, well, I'm not ready to pitch because I haven't pitched in a month. So there's never going to be a perfect answer. There's never a perfect answer for anything. But I think that if you really want every star player to do it, including pitchers, I don't think you could do it right now. Clearly, as you Darvish is showing, if there's going to be long-term effects.
All right, we'll keep it going because I want to show some of the videos and I want to hear some of the plays that happened last night, the way it was called and so on. We'll get there. Hey, a quick reminder to everybody who's watching and listening. New sponsor alert on the Kaplan and Crew show, and that is MedCline. MedCline is a company that's based here in San Diego, and it is a sleep system for people who have a hard time. And there's plenty of you guys out there, myself included. For me, it's chronic shoulder pain. I know for Alex, it's acid reflux. I actually have the sleep system for the shoulder pain and the one for acid reflux, and I kind of go back and forth on both of these things. If you go to our website, kaplanandcrew.com, and you click on the MedCline logo, it'll take you to medcline.com/greatfriends, and that's where you save 20% on these sleep systems. You can read all about the doctor who at UCSD was having a problem with reflux, and he invented this pillow. You can hear all the testimonials from folks, but most importantly, you can get 20% savings. This is a San Diego-based company that is selling these things all over the world. So you're supporting local, number one, and you're helping yourself sleep. You got problems sleeping? This could be your solution. Medcline.com/greatfriends. All right, stick around, everybody. Let's all take a look and a listen to what happened when Ohtani and Trout faced off. It'll be the first time Browner's seen it or heard it. Stick around.
You're watching Kaplan and Crew Tonight, powered by the mightier 1090 AM, ESPN Radio, and Your View, featuring the best sports talk in SoCal.
Dominating the SoCal radio airwaves for over 20 years. Join Scott Kaplan, Alex Padilla, and John Browner for Kaplan and Crew every Monday through Friday, 3 to 6 p.m. Only on the mightier 1090 ESPN Radio, SoCal Sports Talk, and the mightier1090.com.
An ADU is accessory dwelling unit, and it's become one of the most popular solutions to housing in the United States. We constructed this to provide housing for my mother, who is elderly.
Well, I wanted to downsize. At my age, that's what I wanted to do. Eric engaged the services of Murray Lambert, a top building company.
This is an 825 square foot structure, but it actually looks more like 1,000 because of the spatial considerations. Micah was great. He took the ball and ran with it and came up with this really great combination.
It always appealed to me, high ceilings. It gives a sense of space, of openness, and I like that. Oh, I would give this experience a 10 for sure. Plus, 10 plus.
Hey, Hoop fans, it's Victor Howell here, host of the NCAA Tournament Special, Breaking Down the Madness. Each week during the tournament, we'll assemble a panel of regional experts that follow your local team all the way to the Final Four. Highlights, predictions, interviews, and much, much more as we break down the madness right here on Your View.
Breaking Down the Madness is brought to you by your San Diego County Toyota dealers. We make it easy.
Since 1975, San Diegans have trusted the Murray Lambert family for their home remodeling projects. We continue our commitment to deliver high-quality home remodeling and construction to our customers without an expensive showroom.
When you're adding companion units or ADUs to bring value to your home, our team has the experience to handle everything. Plus, our strong relationships with the city makes adding on easier for homeowners.
Visit murraylambert.com for your consultation.
The number one disease in the world, according to World Health Organization, is dental disease. For 25 years, we've had one of the most leading group dental practices in the country. Imagine you're a parent, you're a mom or a dad, and you have a 2-year-old that doesn't get any cavities, and you have a 12-year-old that has a soda habit and gets a ton of cavities. Well, how do you determine what oral care products to get? It's really mind-boggling that currently there does not exist an oral care product company that specializes for kids. So we thought this is a great opportunity to get into that space and revolutionize oral care for kids. We have every single product that every parent needs for every person in that family. It's very comprehensive. The next thing is we customize your oral care products. Someone who has a lot of gum disease probably requires different sets of oral care products that someone has a very, very healthy mouth. And it's also conveniently shipped to your home every 3 to 6 months. Make sure you go to supermouth.com and check out all the educational content. And of course, check out our profile builder to get the right products for every family member.
You're watching Kaplan and Crew Tonight, powered by the mightier 1090 AM, ESPN Radio, and Your View, featuring the best sports talk in SoCal.
Listen to The Mike Greenberg Show, 7 to 9 a.m. Pacific, Monday through Friday. Greeny brings his unmatched depth of sports knowledge, fun, and entertainment back to ESPN on a daily basis. The Mightier 1090 ESPN Radio, SoCal Sports Talk, and themightier1090.com. We'll be right back with more of Scott Kaplan and Crew Tonight. The very best from today's Scott Kaplan and Crew Show on the Mightier 1090 AM, ESPN Radio, SoCal Sports Talk.
Hey, Hoop fans, it's Victor Howell here, host of the NCAA Tournament Special, Breaking Down the Madness. Each week during the tournament, we'll assemble a panel of regional experts that follow your local team all the way to the Final Four. Highlights, predictions, interviews, and much, much more as we break down the madness right here on Your View.
Join Planet Fitness for just $10 a month and find your big fitness energy in a clean and spacious judgment-free zone. Deal in soon. See Home Club for details.
The number one disease in the world, according to World Health Organization, is dental disease. For 25 years, we've had one of the most leading group dental practices in the country. Imagine you're a parent, you're a mom or a dad, and you have a 2-year-old that doesn't get any cavities, and you have a 12-year-old that has a soda habit and gets a ton of cavities. Well, how do you determine what oral care products to get? It's really mind-boggling that currently there does not exist an oral care product company that specializes for kids. So we thought this is a great opportunity to get into that space and revolutionize oral care for kids. We have every single product that every parent needs for every person in that family. It's very comprehensive. The next thing is we customize your oral care products. Someone who has a lot of gum disease probably requires different sets of oral care products that someone has a very, very healthy mouth. And it's also conveniently shipped to your home every 3 to 6 months. Make sure you go to supermouth.com and check out all the educational content. And of course, check out our profile builder to get the right products for every family member.
We're adopting dogs from local shelters, training them for post 9/11 combat veterans, and we're able to donate these trained dogs to deserving veterans in need. Service dogs can range anywhere from $15,000 to $35,000, $40,000. And for someone getting out of the military that's seeking support and help, having that sort of price tag is daunting. So we really wanted to be able to support the veterans to make sure that they're getting a dog that they need in their life at no charge.
I was in a very dark place. I was having suicidal thoughts, and I really needed an immediate help. We don't know if tomorrow is going to be there for us. So I found Shelter the Soldier online, and I reached out, and somebody contacted me within 24 hours. And in the next couple of weeks, I was already in the program meeting dogs.
Your View Community Spotlight is brought to you by Bill Howe Plumbing, Heating, Air, and Flood.
An ADU is accessory dwelling unit, and it's become one of the most popular solutions to housing in the United States. We constructed this to provide housing for my mother, who is elderly.
Well, I wanted to downsize. At my age, that's what I wanted to do. Eric engaged the services of Murray Lambert, a top building company.
This is an 825 square foot structure, but it actually looks more like 1,000 because of the spatial considerations. Micah was great. He took the ball and ran with it and came up with this really great combination.
It always appealed to me, high ceilings. It gives a sense of space, of openness, and I like that. Oh, I would give this experience a 10 for sure. Plus, 10 plus.
For many consumers, sleeping at night should be an easy experience. For many, it's not. There are a number of reasons for that, most notably those that suffer from acid reflux or heartburn. There are also many individuals dealing with various pains or ailments. MedCline is a sleep solution company with our goal to allow people to have a healthy and peaceful night's sleep. And we do that with our therapeutic side sleeping systems. Our patented, clinically studied MedCline relief systems are designed to place an adult in an elevated side sleeping position, which can help them reduce the symptoms or issues they're dealing with. MedCline systems are registered with the FDA, and as a medical product, MedCline systems are qualified for use with FSA and HSA funds. For anyone looking for more information, you can visit medcline.com/sleepbetter.
I was injured in a car crash. I had no idea how much my case was worth. I called the Barnes firm.
When a truck hit my son, I had so many questions about his case. I called the Barnes firm. It was the best call I could have made.
Your case is often worth more than insurance offers. Call the Barnes firm to find out what your case could be worth. We will help you get the best result possible.
The Barnes firm. Injury attorneys. Call 1-800-8-million.
Since 1975, San Diegans have trusted the Murray-Lampert family for their home remodeling projects. We continue our commitment to deliver high-quality home remodeling and construction to our customers without an expensive showroom.
When you're adding companion units or ADUs to bring value to your home, our team has the experience to handle everything. Plus, our strong relationships with the city makes adding on easier for homeowners.
Visit murraylampert.com for your consultation.
Hey, Hoop fans, it's Victor Howell here, host of the NCAA Tournament Special, Breaking Down the Madness. Each week during the tournament, we'll assemble a panel of regional experts that follow your local team all the way to the Final Four. Highlights, predictions, interviews, and much, much more as we break down the madness right here on Your View.
Join Planet Fitness for just $10 a month and find your big fitness energy in a clean and spacious judgment-free zone. Deal in soon. See Home Club for details.
An ADU is an accessory dwelling unit, and it's become one of the most popular solutions to housing in the United States. We constructed this to provide housing for my mother, who is elderly.
Well, I wanted to downsize. At my age, that's what I wanted to do. Eric engaged the services of Murray Lampert, a top building company.
This is an 825 square foot structure, but it actually looks more like 1,000 because of the spatial considerations. Micah was great. He took the ball and ran with it and came up with this really great combination.
It always appealed to me, high ceilings. It gives a sense of space, of openness, and I like that. Oh, I would give this experience a 10 for sure. Plus, 10 plus.
Learn about the many health benefits of MedCline pillows, from easing shoulder pain, reflux relief, and just getting a great night of sleep. Watch Your Health only on Your View, Sundays at 4:30 p.m. Brought to you by MedCline. Sleep better, feel better, live better.
The number one disease in the world, according to World Health Organization, is dental disease. For 25 years, we've had one of the most leading group dental practices in the country. Imagine you're a parent, you're a mom or a dad, and you have a 2-year-old that doesn't get any cavities, and you have a 12-year-old that has a soda habit and gets a ton of cavities. Well, how do you determine what oral care products to get? It's really mind-boggling that currently there does not exist an oral care product company that specializes for kids. So we thought this is a great opportunity to get into that space and revolutionize oral care for kids. We have every single product that every parent needs for every person in that family. It's very comprehensive. The next thing is we customize your oral care products. Someone who has a lot of gum disease probably requires different sets of oral care products that someone has a very, very healthy mouth. And it's also conveniently shipped to your home every 3 to 6 months. Make sure you go to supermouth.com and check out all the educational content, and of course check out our profile builder to get the right products for every family member.
Hey, Hoop fans, it's Victor Howell here, host of the NCAA Tournament Special, Breaking Down the Madness. Each week during the tournament, we'll assemble a panel of regional experts that follow your local team all the way to the Final Four. Highlights, predictions, interviews, and much, much more as we break down the madness right here on Your View.
Breaking Down the Madness is brought to you by your San Diego County Toyota dealers. We make it easy.
Welcome back. This is Scott Kaplan and Crew Tonight. The very best from today's Scott Kaplan and Crew show on the mightier 1090 AM ESPN Radio. SoCal Sports Talk. Here's Scott Kaplan, John Browner, and Alex Padilla.
Yo, great friends. Hey, it is Wednesday afternoon, along with Grande and the Brown Man. This is Kaplan and Crew. We come to you from the 7 Mile Casino Studios, 7milecasino.com. Hey, reminder, Sammy's Restaurant and Bar inside 7 Mile Casino has recently been named by San Diego Magazine the #1 brunch in South County, San Diego. So think about it this Saturday or this Sunday. You're looking for a great brunch. Think about 7 Mile Casino. Think about Sammy's Restaurant and Bar within 7 Mile Casino. And you can use their website, 7milecasino.com, for more information. Hey, for everybody that's listening on radio, everybody that's watching on TV, part of the Cox Your View network, all of our YouTube chatlins out there, get involved in our live YouTube chat, and to all of our audio podcast listeners, glad to have everybody here. If you're just getting with us, opening segment, me and Grande stoked on the World Baseball Classic and the way it all ended last night, Ohtani versus Trout. Browner, on the other hand, as usual, the contrarian point of view, wasn't interested, didn't watch. Come on, Brown, you didn't watch it all. I mean, when the whole world was saying, hurry up, get to a TV, Ohtani versus Trout, you really didn't watch it last night?
Listen, man, not 1 second, didn't care at all. Not one bit. Not one bit at all. No, nothing. I'm good. I'll pass. Carmelo Anthony was great in the Olympics. He didn't do much in his NBA career other than score points. That's what these two guys are. They're both Carmelo Anthony.
Yeah, that's
really?
So far.
Yeah, they're both Carmelo Anthony. They're great at scoring points. Some people enjoy them, love to watch them. In the Olympics, they're amazing, which is technically what this is. I don't know. I didn't watch it, but apparently Mike Trout was great in this tournament, and so was Ohtani.
Well, look, this is what, to me, was part of the drama last night. You have two players on the same team that are probably the two best players on the planet. They play on the same Major League Baseball team, and the team stinks. And here they were in the most meaningful situation of their, I guess I would call it, of their careers.
Of their career. Say that again. This is the most meaningful situation that they've ever been in, both of them, in their career, facing each other on different teams. Like,
yeah, but
shame on Artie Moreno.
Yeah, shame on the Angels. I mean, Browner, the Padres sucked for 20 years. They finally decided to put money into the team, and now they've got all this excitement, and they've got people believing that they're a real World Series contender. But for 20 years, and really for longer than that, they sucked. Okay? So they had, listen, Tony Gwynn, what are you giving me a look for?
According to you, again,
yeah,
because you know how I feel. According to you, have the Padres ever had two players better than Ohtani and Trout on the team at the same time?
No.
So this is not similar to the Padres.
No. What I'm saying to you is that while you're criticizing the two players, I'm more critical of the organization, because Tony Gwynn's entire career with the Padres, yes, they made it to the World Series. They didn't win the World Series. Tony Gwynn had monster Hall of Fame statistics, but in the final analysis, he doesn't have a ring. So Ohtani is a great player. Trout is a great player. Some people say they're the two best players on the planet. Some people say they're two of the all-time greats. I'm like, okay. I mean, Trout certainly has had a longer career. Ohtani looks, because of he's so unique, he's one of the, I guess he's an all-time great this early. But to have these two guys play on the same crappy Major League Baseball team and find themselves facing off in the finals of the World Baseball Classic, didn't work for you. It happened to work for me. I thought it was awesome. Now, we'll get a lot of reaction today from people on Twitter. Did you love it, like me and Alex did? Or did you hate it and didn't even watch 1 second of it, like Browner? And people will hit us up all day
What I
long.
found interesting, and somebody tweeted me the exact same thing, was that because the moment was so, epic, and it felt really large in scale, there didn't seem to be a lot of anger that the U.S. lost because it was so cool.
Right.
There wasn't a lot of, disappointment, sure, but the reaction was just how amazing was that final half inning of the game. And, it looked like the U.S. couldn't mount a comeback against Yu Darvish because the Phillies own the Padres, with Kyle Schwarber hit like a 600-foot home run in that inning. But, yeah, there wasn't a lot of outrage about the U.S. losing.
It's exactly how I felt. I wasn't like, I can't believe we lost. Oh, my God, I can't believe it. Like, to me, I've had that feeling for the U.S. basketball team in the Olympics. I can't believe we lost. That's ridiculous, But in this particular instance, I didn't have like this terrible anger about losing. I was on one hand upset for Trout that he didn't pull it off, and on the other hand, I was kind of happy for Ohtani that he did. And I thought to myself, they always the phrase is good pitching always beats good hitting, and I think that's what we saw last night. To have the guts of Ohtani to say, I'm going to pitch 100-mile-an-hour straight fastball right by you that you can't catch up to, but then on a 3-2 count, I'm going to come back with a slider. This is real baseball talk right here. This is just marvelous. This is wonderful.
High heat right here.
To come with a slider on a 3-2 count, you're going to walk him? Is he going to hit one off of you? You're going to strike him out? I mean, this was unbelievable. What are we looking at here, Alex? This was the whole sequence?
Pitches.
The final two. Okay. So 100-mile-an-hour fastball down the pipes, and then how fast the slider? 87 there. Yeah.
Yep.
Now that was incredible. And I'll tell you guys, I was driving down the road listening to the post game and the interview. And the interviewer, I think it was what's the little goofy guy's name with the bow tie? What's his name? Rosenthal. He's asking the questions to the interpreter. The interpreter is then asking the questions to Ohtani. Ohtani's answering in Japanese. The guy comes back, tells us all what he said. I was like, wow, what a cool thing. Baseball, so international that I'm driving down the road listening to the best player on the planet speak in Japanese about what had just happened. Like, listen, Brown, can't convince you, not going to try and persuade you. If last night, if you couldn't watch that last at bat and get juiced about it, nothing's going to work for you. I found it to be awesome.
I'd be far more interested if that happened in game 1 of the Padres season. I'd be way more enthused about that than these two guys in a practice squad striking each other out.
Mm-hmm. All right, Alex, what would you like to show us here as Mr. Rain on Everybody's Parade is just couldn't get jacked about this? How about Trout talking about this after the game? Because I'd be curious to hear what he has to say.
You know, everybody wanted to see it. You know, he won round 1. No, you can't take anything away from it. Just to be able to come out of the bullpen, you know, as a starter, and you know, it's showtime. So it's you know, hats off to them guys over there. It was a tough night for us, but we'll be back.
Yeah,
I think he already committed to the 4 years from now too. He's like, whatever they need, I'll be there. How old is Trout? That's a great question.
He'll be the manager by then because his back will have been given out on him.
He's 31.
Oh, really? Yeah.
He's 31,
like
so he's ready
Cruz
for
as a manager.
He's 31, so he's ready for a 12-year contract.
Sounds about right.
Yeah.
Ohtani, you talk about what Ohtani did in the World Baseball Classic. Take a look at some of the numbers here that Ohtani put up. Go ahead, Alex. Tell us.
435 average, 606 on base percentage, 739 slugging. He did pitch very well, 9.2 innings pitched, 1.86 ERAs, and 11 strikeouts.
I mean, there is the best baseball player on the planet, Shohei Ohtani. And I can't decide if what I want the Angels to do is actually get good so that these two guys can play meaningful baseball games, or if I want the Angels to trade both of them so that they can go someplace else and play meaningful baseball games.
I'd much rather the Angels get good than Ohtani wear pinstripes or Dodger blue.
Yeah.
Because I know Padres Twitter was like, man, Ohtani's going to be looking good in that brown and gold. But I'm like, all right, let's, you know, put our realistic hats on right now for a second. I don't know. But I'd much rather the Angels be good than Ohtani end up in the NL West elsewhere.
Yeah. Yeah. Hey, listen, I
know
think
Dodger fans are banking on it.
Oh, you know the Dodger fans.
You save all that money. You let all these dudes walk away. You let Corey Seager, Trey Turner, Justin Turner, Cody Bellinger, Tyler. Name them. Name all the All-Stars they've let walk recently. And they don't get Ohtani?
Mm-hmm.
That's heartbreak.
And Kershaw's probably kind of right there at the end of the line, you know, and they won't have Walker Buehler this year. They'll have to wait until next year to get him back. I mean, they will have so much money off the books to go out and give Ohtani what it's going to require, I think, to eventually sign him. I find it very hard to believe that the Padres are going to have the Manny Machado contract, the Xander Bogaerts contract, the Tatis contract, and potentially the Soto contract.
Don't forget the Darvish
I find it very hard to believe that they're going to the Musgrove contract, the Darvish contract. Yeah, I find it very hard to believe that the Padres are going to find a way to pay Ohtani what the Dodgers, I think, will eventually try to pay Ohtani or the Yankees for
How
that
do you
matter.
even quantify? How do you begin to quantify what Ohtani's worth in the sense of just pure baseball? With a guy that gives you 40 plus home runs and 100 RBIs, that in itself is, we already know what that's worth. That's, $400 million minimum. But you're also throwing in a guy that's giving you, I don't know, 10 to 15 wins a year with a 2 ERA. Like, how do you even begin to put a value on that? It's the
Well,
hard, like, I don't know if you're the Angels, I don't know how you let him walk away, but I don't know how you keep him.
Yeah. Here's the thing. If I were the Padres, just as an example, I would not want to sign Ohtani. Now, everybody who's listening is just went, what? Are you stupid? All I'm saying is the likelihood of his arm holding up long term, I don't see it because he's already had a Tommy John. Remember his first year with the Angels? He came in and he started pitching and he got hurt right away and he had Tommy John. So, how
he's good to
long
go.
can this how long can this last?
That's like a rite of passage
That'd be
for
my fear.
pitchers.
Yeah, I
That's
know.
like
Right?
a rite of
They seem to
passage.
get better.
They get
Yeah,
better.
like they get bionic.
That surgery basically gives you like this ridiculous arm that is almost unbreakable.
Tell me this. Were the Padres playing a spring training game last night while the World Baseball Classic finale was being played?
That is correct.
And were the guys what does that look, Browner?
Rob Manfred wants this thing to be successful. How
Yeah.
about on the day you earmark it to be the championship day, you don't play a spring training game?
Well, what does that matter?
Because
Were you watching the Padres?
He's promoting baseball. No, I was watching
Mhm.
basketball. He's promoting baseball. He's in charge of baseball. And so if this event was the crown jewel, last night was the crown jewel of this event, how about you clear out the schedule so on that particular day in spring training, there is no baseball because we want everybody who likes baseball watching this.
Why? I mean, I don't see why. I mean, like if you went to Arizona to watch spring training baseball games and there's no games, everything's dark because everybody's watching the World Baseball Classic, I'm thinking about all the ballparks and all the people who work there and I'm thinking about all the restaurants right around. I mean, it's big business, the what goes on in Arizona and in Florida during spring training. So, I don't think you need to shut down spring training just to be critical of everything that baseball does. I mean, look, the Padre players were in the dugout last night and they were watching what was going on. They're in uniform and they're watching the game that's going on out in front of them. And look at these dudes. We're looking at pictures right now. I don't know if they had a monitor or an iPad. I'm not exactly sure what they had, but these guys were all watching. Look, there's Manny Machado watching what's going on in the World Baseball Classic.
I mean, you might as well
that's
just cancel
freaking
spring
cool.
training right now if this is what's happening. Right? Like we're good. We're good on spring training. The injuries have come, they gone. We know who's what. Like you could practice on your own from now till next Thursday. We don't need 5 more spring training games, do we? Do we? Am I just being like a baseball dummy right now? Do we need 5 more spring training baseball games for these pitchers to get ramped up?
If you as the head of baseball can't see the significance of the championship of your event enough to pause the rest of your events so everyone can watch this one event, then it doesn't matter to you either as the head of baseball.
Please, whatever you say. Hey, listen, let me have a minute here because now we'll transition into the Padres.
Stretch
Get ready.
Armstrong.
I'll say
Stretch
this.
Armstrong.
The NBA will
You're
not play a
reaching, bro.
game. The NBA will not play a game the night of the national championship. That's not a coincidence.
The NBA will not play a game, so there's no game scheduled for Monday night, April 3rd. Okay, well that makes sense. Hey, look, we don't want to compete on television with the national championship. But who's competing on television last night? I mean, were you watching the Padres spring training game? Who'd they play last night? I don't know. Do you?
If you root for the Padres, or if you, again, like baseball, you're going to watch your local team.
I'm not. I've not watched 1 second of spring training. Not 1 second of spring training have I watched.
I'm not disagreeing with you to disagree with you, but this is a reach, bro.
This
is spring training, man. This isn't a real game.
Right. But y'all,
Did you watch?
this
did you watch
is
the
why
game
I'm
last
this
night?
is why I'm saying you could pause the games. That's my whole point. You didn't have to play that night. You didn't have to play last night. That's my whole point.
What does it matter? What did it matter? Because
But
the
y'all telling
Padres
me,
watched.
y'all telling me it's so important.
It's not. No. I'm not telling you it's so important. I'm just telling you that it was super exciting. By the way, Browner.
Cool.
If Ohtani's not the pitcher last night, and Trout's not the hitter last night in the bottom of the ninth inning, and if those two guys don't play on the same Major League Baseball club, it doesn't have anywhere near the excitement. It just so happened. Listen, if Japanese pitcher who I don't know takes on U.S. player Paul Goldschmidt, okay, I'm like, okay, big deal. Who cares? It was the fact that two players play on the same team. One is representing Japan, one's representing the United States. They're considered the two best players on the planet, and they faced off in the bottom of the ninth inning. If this were the bottom of the seventh inning, it doesn't have anywhere near the excitement. The story is the two guys and when they played against each other and what the result of it was. That's why it was so cool.
Cool.
I mean, got it. You can tell Manfred now. I got the answers for you, pal.
Cool.
Got all the answers. Didn't watch 1 second of spring training, but man, cancel that game last night.
Cool.
I didn't watch 1 second of spring training on television. Not one. But I watched quite a bit now of the World Baseball Classic. It wasn't the first week, but this last week I watched a lot of it.
Sounds like
You were
to me,
watching basketball last night.
sounds like to me you watched in at bat.
No. I watched last night's at bat, but I listened to it on the radio last night's at bat. The night before, I watched that game between Japan and Mexico, which I thought was amazing. I saw the game, I think it was Cuba against the U.S. I mean, listen, I'm not sitting here telling you I watched every game, hardly. But I'm also telling you I didn't watch any spring training. None, zero. You watch any spring training?
A little bit.
No, bull. You haven't watched any of it.
I told you when
Basketball.
Tatis was having his at bats, I was watching. That's what I was watching. I was watching for that.
All right, let's go to the Padres. In fact, before we do go to the Padres, hey, give me one quick second. I just want to mention everybody. Penske San Diego, PenskeSanDiego.com. Great sponsors of the show. Here's what you do. You go to their website, PenskeSanDiego.com. They've got 1,000 cars on their lots around the county. They've got 12 dealerships. They represent 9 brands. But if you go onto their website and you say, hey, I'm interested in car X, Y, and Z, they'll have it pulled up and ready for you so that when you get there, you're ready to test drive. They make it easy. They make it fast. Penske San Diego, PenskeSanDiego.com. All right.
Before we move on,
yeah.
Got to play this. Final out from the Japanese television.
フルカウント、大谷か、トラウトか。空振り三振！最後は大谷翔平が締めくくった。侍ジャパン WBC 王座奪還。
Yeah, I have no idea what he's saying. He could be reading the McDonald's menu for all I know, but it sounded great. Sounded awesome.
When Ohtani strikes out Trout and he throws his hat and he's standing there, I mean, to him, that meant so much. I mean, it's the World Championship. We say the World Series, but that's the World Series, really. Now, I'm not saying it couldn't be improved. I'm not saying I wouldn't have liked to have seen a 7-game series between these two teams. I'm not saying I wouldn't have liked to have seen it later in the year when everybody's in real shape. But to those guys, listen, Manny Machado said it himself. He wants to win a World Baseball Classic championship. Oh, yeah, I'd like to win a World Series too, but World Baseball Classic championship, that's what I want to win. Represent my country.
Represent.
Yeah. So the Padres were watching this all go down last night in the dugout. The pictures are amazing to see the guys standing around, whether it's an iPad or a monitor of some kind. I don't know, man, but that was pretty cool. What do we want to hear or see from Padres spring training as we're getting ready to wrap this thing up?
Since Browner was so consumed with Padres spring training yesterday, he must have been very happy that the top 4 in Tatis, Cronenworth, and Machado had 7 hits, scored 5 runs. They were absolutely dominant yesterday against the Colorado Rockies. The top 4.
Brown, you were probably watching that, right?
No Soto. We're not ready yet.
Bogarts went 2 of 2. Machado went 1 of 3. Cronenworth 2 of 3. Tatis 2 of 3. No, they were looking sharp.
All right. Anything from the manager that we should hear or see?
very positive news from the manager in regards to Juan Soto.
Soto's MRI? Yeah, it's minimal. So, we'll see what happens in the next couple days, but, no, significant oblique inflammation, and, we'll see how he feels tomorrow and maybe have a bat in his hand the next couple days.
You're optimistic for that he'll be around before opening day?
I am optimistic. Yep.
Okay.
Yep.
Optimistic Bob Melvin. Yep. All right,
Yep.
stick around. We'll get into a little bit more spring training baseball. I mean, maybe. Want to get into the Aztecs versus Alabama. I want to get into that story because I think that's great. Sweet 16 action. We'll get there. We're in the 7 Mile Casino Studios along with Grande and the Brown Man. This is Kaplan and Crew. Lots more to come. Stick around, everybody.
You're watching Kaplan and Crew Tonight, powered by the mightier 1090 AM, ESPN Radio, and Your View, featuring the best sports talk in SoCal.
Locally owned and operated, not some bland, uninspired, corporate, cookie-cutter radio station crap. We simply say to those stations, Q. The mightier 1090 ESPN Radio, SoCal Sports Talk.
Murray Lampert now brings architectural and interior design to a whole new level for your remodel, ADU, or whole house build.
We're truly a team at Murray Lampert Design, Build, Remodel, and we don't take that lightly.
Visit murraylampert.com.
This is a huge wall. I'm sure it presented some challenges.
You're right, Sarah. And what it was in the model we noticed there it was too much wood. This was supposed to be clad. And with the beautiful stairs and railings, we realized that we need to come up with a different finish. So we used these reglets that are metal with the drywall, and it gave it this grid look that also matches up with the beams.
Wow, that came out beautiful. If you want to see how they conquered more design challenges, check out Our Family, Your Home.
I was injured in a car crash. I had no idea how much my case was worth. I called the Barnes firm.
When the truck hit my son, I had so many questions about his case. I called the Barnes firm. It was the best call I could have made.
Your case is often worth more than insurance offers. Call the Barnes firm to find out what your case could be worth. We will help you get the best result possible.
The Barnes Firm. Injury attorneys. Call 1-800-8-million.
When you're adding companion units or ADUs to bring more value to your home, our experience plus our strong relationship with the city makes adding on easier for our homeowners.
At Murray Lampert, we listen to you first, then design and build. Visit murraylampert.com.
If you're going to count yourself as a fan of this radio station, you'll need to continuously ask yourself one basic question. Am I listening enough? Pro tip, wives are not a good source for input on this. This is the mightier 1090 AM ESPN Radio.
When you're adding companion units or ADUs to bring more value to your home, our experience plus our strong relationship with the city makes adding on easier for our homeowners.
At Murray Lampert, we listen to you first, then design and build. Visit murraylampert.com.
For many consumers, sleeping at night should be an easy experience. For many, it's not. There are a number of reasons for that, most notably those that suffer from acid reflux or heartburn. There are also many individuals dealing with various pains or ailments. MedCline is a sleep solution company with our goal to allow people to have a healthy and peaceful night's sleep. And we do that with our therapeutic side sleeping systems. Our patented, clinically studied MedCline relief systems are designed to place an adult in an elevated side sleeping position, which can help them reduce the symptoms or issues they're dealing with. MedCline systems are registered with the FDA, and as a medical product, MedCline systems are qualified for use with FSA and HSA funds. For anyone looking for more information, you can visit medcline.com/sleepbetter.
Welcome to the Super Dentist, where kids are the center of our universe. Serving San Diego for over 25 years, the Super Dentists offer the newest dental technologies to provide safe and comfortable treatments for the entire family. We've reimagined the entire dental experience by creating a fun and engaging atmosphere featuring our heroic dentists and award-winning super crew. Book your appointment now. Extended hours and Saturday appointments available. Call or text 855-GO-SUPER or visit thesuperdentist.com.
Thank you for joining us. Catch Scott Kaplan and Crew tonight from 7 to 8 p.m. Pacific every Monday through Friday. The very best from today's Scott Kaplan and Crew show on the mightier 1090 AM ESPN Radio, SoCal Sports Talk.